It's February 27th, 2024, and this is Sketchworks NewsBrake. The news stops here. I'm Brian Troxel, and we're shaking things up this week by putting all of our Donald Trump stories in the third segment of the show. So, stay tuned for that. Walmart has purchased TV maker Vizio, which experts are saying might be the first stage of Walmart launching their own TV streaming service. Rumored content includes The Walking Dead Black Friday, Great Values The Ranch, and Love is Broke. An Italian late-night comedy show, Fratelli di Crozza, went viral after mocking President Biden's age in a sketch over the weekend. We here at Sketchworks NewsBrake would like to personally invite our Italian colleague Maurizio Crozza to do his viral Biden impersonation for a future NewsBrake episode. Per favore, Maurizio, like and subscribe to NewsBrake. Mi dispiace non parlo italiano. Staying in Italy, well, staying in a country inside of Italy, you know what, whatever. The Pope had to cancel all of his meetings last week after he came down with the flu, because you're bound to get sick when you're hanging around all those young kids. This week, many American cell phone users got to party like it's 1991, when an unprecedented nationwide cellular outage occurred. We now turn to Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent and technology expert Allie O'Neill for details on why this occurred.
Okay, so you see how it says do not touch? I touched it, my bad.
Thank you, Allie. That's good to know. Y'all want to talk about some animals? All right. New Yorkers are mourning the loss of an owl named Flacco, who escaped from the Central Park Zoo last year. Flacco died the way most New Yorkers do, by being shoved onto the subway tracks. Flacco will be remembered for defying the odds in his last year of freedom by eating rats, stalking people in apartment buildings, and becoming an internationally known celebrity owl. Rest in peace, our feathered friend. Rest in peace. In related news, Flacco the quarterback is still not elite. The world's oldest dog was posthumously stripped of his title after the Guinness World Records could not prove he was 30 years old at the time of his death. The dog's owner even went so far as cutting the dog in half and trying to count the rings. The Omaha Zoo has asked visitors to stop throwing coins into their ponds like a wishing well after their alligator Thibodeau had to have emergency surgery to remove coins from its stomach. So if it was your wish to kill Thibodeau, you'll now have to try a wishbone, birthday candles, or shooting an AK-47.
I'm Sketchworks NewsBrake correspondent Tim Millard with a public service announcement. If you're going to violate the terms of your probation by cutting off your ankle monitor, make sure you do it at a Buc-ee's, because the brisket is delicious and it's worth going to jail for. For Sketchworks NewsBrake, I'm Tim Millard.
Thank you, Tim. That's good to know. Well, here we are in the third segment of the show. So, as promised / threatened, you know, the thing. This past weekend, former Pizza Hut pitchman Donald Trump won South Carolina's Republican primary, beating former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley in her home state by 20 percentage points. In typical Trump fashion, he claimed he beat her by 2,000 percentage points. In the Donald's victory speech, he lamented his many legal woes, saying he has been indicted more times than Al Capone. But Trump is similar to Capone in that he is fat and caught syphilis from a Chicago prostitute. Speaking of his legal woes, Donald Trump is appealing the $454 million judgment in his New York civil fraud trial. His attorneys say the verdict is incredibly unfair because he's absolutely innocent. Well, after you ignore all the totally illegal things he did. A new book revealed that during Donald Trump's first term, Ivanka and Melania were locked in a 4-year internal power struggle over the media spotlight. All the while, Donald Trump Jr. struggled to finally get father to say, "I love you." The NYPD reported that someone left a smoking bag of feces outside of Trump Tower last week. But I think that's a mean way to describe Rudy Giuliani. All right, anybody else got any Trump stuff this week? No? All right. In that case, please enjoy this. Hollywood is in... Oops. Gotta move back over here. Hollywood is in trouble yet again. This time for the all-new Demon Slayer movie, in which all of the voice actors were human and not actual demons. What a shameful lack of representation. A 59-year-old Michigan man who won $100 from a scratch-off lottery ticket used his winnings to purchase even more scratch-off tickets. He then ended up winning $1 million. Then you know what he did? That's right. He took the million and bought even more scratch-off tickets. And then his wife left him. After an election in a Nebraskan village ended in a tie, they decided to settle the election by declaring the winner to be whomever drew the highest playing card. And after both candidates drew the same card, they then went to penalty kicks. Coming up after the break, one of our most popular recurring features among a very tiny subset of people. But first, if you're still watching this, please be sure and hit that subscribe button so you can be the first on your block to watch Sketchworks NewsBrake every Tuesday. I think that's how subscribing works. I'm not really sure. We're trying to get to 1,600 subscribers by the time our next all-new live show opens here in Atlanta on May 10th. We passed 1,400 subscribers last week, so thank you 1,400 times over. If you have 200 friends, ask them to subscribe this week, and mission accomplished! Okay, here comes the good stuff. In
Cocaine news.
British border officials discovered 6 tons of cocaine hidden in a shipment of bananas from South Africa.
What? Who put that there?
While in the U.S., Hunter Biden's attorney says prosecutors have mistaken sawdust for cocaine in this 2018 picture.
What was he sawing? An 8-ball?
And former Cleveland Browns quarterback Johnny Manziel says he lost 40 pounds due to his strict diet of blow. And it was a hell of a lot more fun than snorting Ozempic. How about that? Your end of February bump of cocaine news. The Economist published a story online stating that cousin marriage is probably fine in most cases. After the article was released, the entire state of Alabama celebrated with some good old-fashioned cousin sex. The old-fashioned kind is the best. The Florida Man Games started over the weekend, which featured men in tank tops and jorts wrestling while holding pitchers of beer and running from the police in an evading arrest obstacle course. A spokesperson for the event said that all the proceeds raised will go towards posting bail for the winner. Neuroscientists have developed a new map of specific brain regions that may shed light on various neurological conditions. Scientists, however, have not yet discovered what region causes people to be insane in the brain. Cypress Hill was ahead of their time. Hey, speaking of Cypress Hill, a study conducted by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has found states where recreational marijuana is legal have seen a 10% increase in workplace injuries. Now, this doesn't have to happen, people. If you need to dose to maintain before work, supplant your THC intake with a mild morning CBD. 2 or 3 drops of a low-dose cannabidiol oil in that first cup of joe or tea or smoothie will ease you into your workday without detriment to your cognition or coordination. You'll be good as green, as we in the hemp community like to say. Consult with your bud tender about the right CBD oil dosage for your lifestyle. And hey, tell them Trox sent you. Finally, this Thursday is Leap Day. Hooray! So remember to set your clocks forward a day. That's all for Sketchworks NewsBrake. We'll be back next week, and we hope you are too. I'm Brian Troxel. Say hi to your mom for me.